Hey there plant people! Today I'm going to be doing my top 5 favourite aroids. I have had this idea for some time now, but I recently saw Nick Pileggi do his top 5 favourite aroids, and I thought, well, no more procrastinating, I'm going to film this video. An aroid is anything that belongs to the Aroids family. And includes many different genuses. So Monstera, Philodendron, Epipremnums, Peace Lilies, Dieffenbachia, Aglaonemas. It's a really diverse family of plants. Alright, so let's just jump into it. This first one, I'm just going to get it out of the way because I know that I've already talked about it a few times already, and that is my neon pothos. The whole Epipremnum genus are part of the aroid family. It hasn't changed much at all since the last time I showed this. It hasn't put out any new leaves. A few of the old leaves have been dying, but I think that's okay because they were just like the old small leaves, which wouldn't be getting as much light as the other ones because they would be covered up. My mum hates plants this color because she just thinks that they look like they're dying, which I think is a fair point. But if you're looking to add a pop of bright color into your room, would thoroughly recommend neon pothos. Super easy to look after, just a wonderful plant all around. The next plant I've also talked about on this channel before, so I'm just going to get it out of the way as well. Philodendron micans. This one has grown a bit since the last time I showed you, so I think in my top 5 favourite videos, this leaf was the last one that I just unfurled. Since then, it's got this new leaf and a new leaf coming in here. Again, just super easy to look after. I have this growing across an east-facing window, which it absolutely loves. I love the leaves, just beautiful velvet leaves. I love touching them. I don't know if it's good or not for the leaves to keep touching them, but I do it anyway. But yeah, I recently saw a tiny little bit of white scale, just one white scale on this before, which I picked off and have been furiously inspecting it ever since. Fingers crossed that's the only pest I get on this plant. But I bring that up just to point out the fact that if you do have a philodendron, because new leaves kind of come out of a sheath, a lot of pests like to hide under that sheath there. So I would just really check around the nodes around here because pests do like to hide in there. But yeah, if you don't have a philodendron micans, I would really recommend picking one up. So beautiful. My next plant, you can kind of see him poking up here, the ZZ plant. I wanted to include this one because I don't think a lot of people realize that ZZ plants are part of the aroid family. I think they are the only aroids growing in southern Africa, although I'm not entirely sure. I will fact check that. Zemiocolis is the genus of ZZ plants, that's what the first Z stands for. But of the Zemiocolis genus, this is the only species within it, so it's a single species genus. If you are looking for a super easy beginner plant, would 100% recommend getting a ZZ plant because they are tolerant of low light. But if you want them to thrive and grow quickly, I would recommend putting them in brighter light. But tolerant of low light, really drought resistant. Since I last showed this guy on my channel, he has put out this new, what do you call them, branch growth. This growth is new, this growth is new, and it's a bit hard to see, but there is new growth coming up in here. Absolutely gorgeous plant. Definitely one of my favorites by far. My next favorite aroid is also one of my smallest plants that I have at the moment, and that is my baby Alocasia amazonica. I'm not entirely sure. I know you can get a bambino variety of the amazonica. I'm not entirely sure if that's what this is or if it is just a baby version of the normal amazonicas. The only way I can tell is to wait for it to grow. But it has put out so much new growth in the last month or so. Like almost all of these leaves here are new, and it's got new leaves coming in as well. I especially love this one because I have heard about how difficult alocasias are to grow, and they are difficult, I think, if you don't give them enough light and if you don't have the right humidity levels for them. But this one is just thriving for me. Like, I have had no difficulty with it pretty much at all. Some of the older leaves are looking a little disheveled, but I'm not too worried. Alocasias, as new growth come in, tend to shed their old leaves anyway, so I don't think they'll last for much longer. I did recently pot this guy up, and I filmed me doing it, but that video was just so bad because just so many things went wrong, and I, for some reason, just wasn't, I don't know, I probably shouldn't have filmed that day. I just wasn't in the right headspace to do so. But I don't know, maybe I'll post that video just as a bit of a laugh, you know. But since repotting him, he has just put out a lot of new growth. I'm probably gonna have to pot him up again soon, I think. The last aroid, I feel like you can't do a video about aroids and not talk about monsteras. The monstera that I want to talk about today is the Monstera adansonii. From the moment that I started collecting plants, Monstera adansonii were just the top of my wish list. Like, and I mean, who can blame me? I just think holes in the leaves are so cool. At the time I got it, it only had these 3 really banged up leaves. I think it may have been a bit over fertilized, and that's why the leaves look a bit burnt. But since then it has put out this new growth here, and this newest leaf, which hasn't even finished fully unfurling, already has a tiny, there's no way you can see it, but a tiny little bit of new leaf starting to grow there. I look at this plant every day, I touch its leaves, and I just think, like, how are you real? How do you exist? Yeah. This plant just brings me such an incredible amount of joy, and the bigger it gets, I know the more joy it's going to bring me, so can't wait. She's just woken up from a little nap. She wants some little attention now, but yeah, I can't not include her in a video. Look how cute she is. Aww. I know this was supposed to be just a top 5 video, but I just want to quickly talk about another aroid that I very recently added to my collection. This is like, it amuses me because I feel like this is just such a basic plant and literally every plant collector has one, but for some reason I didn't have one. And that is a Monstera deliciosa. Obviously this is a very little baby one. It's going to be a long time, I think, before this one develops splits, but I just think it's so cute. I love its little heart-shaped leaves. The plant shop that I bought it from had just the loveliest lady there. She is a huge dog lady. I brought Billy with me. She loved Billy. Billy loved the lady. It was just a wonderful place with wonderful, happy vibes, and even though everything there was like a little bit more expensive, like I would never pay generally as much as I did for a Monstera that size as I did that day. But the lady was just so nice, such a lovely place to go to. I will link description. It was called the Plant Lounge. I will link it, its website down below. So if you live in Brisbane, Australia at all, I would recommend checking it out. Bring your dog with you because the lady is a huge dog lover. That is my top 5 plus a bonus favourite aroids. I find it really interesting comparing my aroids to the ones that Nick talked about in his video. I had chosen my top 5 before I'd even watched his video, and yet somehow we came up with completely different favourites. So I think that's a really good example of how incredibly diverse the Aroids family is, and just how many of our houseplants belong to that family. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it as always. Don't forget to subscribe, check out my Instagram. I hope you all have a wonderful, happy week. Hope you spend lots of time with your plants, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!